Alright, hello, you know who it is. I'm Sunless. It's been a long time. This video will be covering tips, tricks, and important skills you should know while sword fighting. This is going to be an advanced video going very depth in the guide. Be ready for everything that I'm about to say. Stop the video if you need. All of this information is from the Shagan Academy. I will talk about Shagan Academy in the end of this video. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so first thing about movement is the distancing between you and your opponent. Being too far away is never going to end up leading to anything, but being too close will most likely end up you being dead. Now, the perfect distance is a 2 sword wide distance. What that means is the first sword is stationary. I definitely cannot hit him from here, but if I would do a lean and I would attack forwards, an attack is most likely to have a hit. So, being this far away will end up you seeing your opponent attack you way easier than before. Now, if I was 1 sword away, I could literally just move my arm back and forth, slice, it would always hit them. If I'm over here, I'll lean and I'll move. It's necessary to hit. Now, when you're attacking, we'll talk about some basic movements. First, we have small forward. Small forward is when you tap or flick your controller stick or button and you go a little bit forwards. Never go fully, never just walk towards them, since this can end up you dying. Small forwards is good if you want to bait the opponent out maybe a little bit. You would go back, forwards, back and back, forwards, then maybe get a hit. It's always smart to use the side coverage. Point your sword towards their neck area, walk a bit forwards, and then you can go right. Always aim for the neck, shoulder, or waist, or middle of the body. If you want to do big attacks, like swing your arm widely, I always suggest going for the waist, since you can lean much easier and you can get wide coverage. Always have your eye on the opponent. Don't turn your back on them. Maybe some people like to do this when they go attack the player. If it ends up badly, the player, if he's 2 swords away, they can just simply walk backwards and hit them on the waist or shoulder. Face your opponent always. Stays 2 swords away. Okay, so now the defense part. Here we have my beautiful friend, very expert at sword fighting, Ted the Dummy. He is a perfected Hashira of the Shagan Academy, as you can see. No movement at all, and he would attack me at any moment. Anyway, for defense, basic stance of the sword is the katana stance. Or you can just call it whatever you want. So, the yellow part of the cutlass is always recommended to have it down. You have it down and you have the blade's tip on the opponent's neck area. What this will do is it will cover most of your body. You can put the sword maybe more on the left or maybe more on the right. If you're left-handed, I suggest putting your blade more on the right. If you're more right-handed, I suggest putting your blade more on the left, or just keep it in the middle. Now the blocking part of blocking an attack, if Ted would decide to attack me from his right, I would get the block by moving my sword to my left and moving the opposite direction. Pretty much I'm moving with his force, like Wata, you know, the Wata becomes teacup and so on and so forth, what Bruce Lee said. I would move the opposite direction, which would allow me to move more on his back, since his back will be more open. I get the block, I get the attack. Since when you get a block, there's a small delay on the opponent's sword that they cannot hit you in.
You have to be able to master your reaction time. And if you don't know your reaction time, it's how fast you can react to, like, oh shit, ooh, like an attack, you know what I mean? Like that. Boom, and boom. So the main way you predict an attack is by simply seeing where their sword is. Now, Sunless' sword is over to his right. That can mean 2 things, and one of them is most likely gonna happen. Because his sword is over here, he's most likely going to do an attack like this. His bottom right to his upper left. Or he can literally fuck me over and do some spinny some shit, and something. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now on the big topic, attacking. There are, in my memory, there are 6 ways to slash your sword. 1, diagonal above. Then there's the middle level, which would hit the stomach area. Then diagonal down, and then vertically down. All of these attacks can be used in different situations. If your opponent is on your left, I suggest using attacks that come from your right. And if he's on your right, it's the same thing. How we would attack is we combine our attacks with our movement. So I could go small forwards and I could do a vertical up attack. Boom. Or if I wanted to do a big attack, I could go left, long, and do a swipe on their waist. Boom. How I would use the up attacks, I would go to the right and go to the left and try to hit their waist with those. Like so. So then you would have to create a flow. How you would create a flow is you read the opponent, read their moves, stay good distance away, do all kinds of attacks vertically, side, vertical, side, vertical, side, then maybe take some space and spin on them. Attacks are quite simple, but mastering their position and timing is very important. If you do attacks at the wrong time or they're a little bit off, it will end up you dying. One last thing to know is that leaning is fine. You can lean with your attacks and it will increase your range by 2 swords. Actually 1, since the first one is already there. It would increase your attacking range by 1 sword, and it depends on your play space how much you can lean. For a special attack, there is the spin. The spin is mostly used as a rotation method if the opponent gets behind you. This can get them off guard. Is, let's say you're on against the wall is right here, and the opponent starts attacking over there. Spin to the right, which is the stronger side where the sword is. You can hit them with it. Now we'll go over the special topics of sword fighting. 1, it is allowed to have your hand on the finger, and what would that do is it eliminates the hitbox on your hand, only your hand and on your hand. We allow this, it's completely fine. We can't do anything about it since Rec Room, and it's completely fine to have your hand on finger. Now we'll go over a special attack, which is a spin, which I showed you guys over there. The spin can be used as a rotation move, like let's say you're in a bad spot, maybe you're in a corner, and everybody knows that if it's a straight 90-degree angle. Another special thing is jumping and doing an attack. If you ever jump and do an attack, it's highly recommended that you attack downwards and you keep the sword down and you go for their shoulder or waist, depending on where you are. I don't use jumping too much. Sometimes it can give an extra boost though. Might be good if you are running away from your opponent or just keeping distance. Now, on the final part of this video, I will be talking about my academy named Shagan Academy. If you want to have the best learning experience on sword fighting, I 100% recommend joining Shagan Academy. Now, you might ask, how do I join? We host tournaments and entrance exams, which is a big free-for-all, 20-player free-for-all. You can see that in one of my videos called The First Shagan Academy Exam. Now, how you join these events is by joining our clubhouse first. Our clubhouse is called Shagan Academy. In this clubhouse, we will do announcements when the events are happening. In the posting of this video, the next Shagan Academy exam will be on February the 5th. It will probably be, you have to be there very fast since spots do fill up. If there's 20 players attending, only 5 will get in. Get in the academy. It's a big free-for-all. Shagan Academy has great teachers and top knowledge on sword fight. We have gathered sword fighting knowledge for the past 2-3 years while playing this game. Most of it is from me and the other teachers / Hashiras. You get in the academy, you become a student, and you start learning from the top-notch sword fighters. I will see you when the event begins, and you have a great day. This has been Sunless. My best friend is Ted, and I like women.